Liverpool against Burnley finished 1-1, and that's 24 home wins in a row. It ends there for Liverpool. A big part of that on the day was Nick Pope. We'll get to him in a minute. But Stevie, that's an incredible record, isn't it? 24 home wins for Liverpool.
Well, it just tells you that the advantage that top teams have at home. You know, it's not just the way they play, it's not just the way they go about it. But, you know, teams that go to places like Anfield, before you even kick a ball, they're on the back foot. And that's what usually happens. Yes, it didn't quite work out today for Liverpool. But the truth is, that was only because there was a goalkeeper in absolutely outstanding form.
He was brilliant, wasn't he, Nick Pope? Obviously, man of the match in this game.
Oh my God! I mean, 3 absolutely incredible saves. You know, I heard people 2 or 3 weeks ago talking about whether maybe Pope's not been at his best, and I was kind of scratching my head listening to them. And then, of course, if ever you needed to see what he's like, you saw it today at Anfield. I mean, Pope just. It reminded me. I'm sorry, I'm going to show my age here, but there was a guy called Gordon Banks who, when I was growing up, was just incredible. And that's the first thing I thought about today when I saw a couple of saves that Pope made. And that is high praise indeed.
Oh, it absolutely is. Now, not to take anything away from Nick Pope, is it fair to say that Liverpool weren't at their most clinical on the day?
That's a tough one, because when we're saying that the goalkeepers made 3 world-class saves, you know, we wouldn't be complaining about the finishing had they won the game 3-1. The truth is, Burnley made it difficult for them. Pope made it difficult. The defenders made it difficult. They did create chances, but the other chances that they were given, you know, they didn't have an awful lot of window to shoot at, and that's down to fantastic defending. Burnley, no question, as always, showing big heart. That's why they end up getting a point. And of course, we've already spoken about Pope. So, yeah, you could point the finger maybe at the forwards for not scoring more goals, but when you've got a defence and a goalkeeper performing the way they did, sometimes it just doesn't happen for you.
It was a lovely opening goal from Liverpool. Great cross from Firmino, and then what a header from Andy Robertson, eh?
Yeah, great header coming in at the back post. Beautiful ball in as well from Firmino. And Andy Robertson picked his spot and then delivered. Just a classic header.
14 different goal scorers, I was telling you before we went to air, at Anfield this season. The last time it happened that there was 14, it was actually 15 that season, was the 92-93 season. I went to have a look. You were in the squad. You weren't on the score sheet in any of those games, though.
Well, I wasn't. At that particular time, I was playing centre-back, and I would suggest that the reason there were so many different scorers is because we made that many changes during the season, unlike Liverpool. But yeah, a fantastic feat, and it just shows you that I was taking the mickey about, you know, the changes in '92. But when you've got a solid 11 that pretty much starts all the time, and you've got 14 different scorers, that do the maths. That's more than the 11 that start.
Good to see Curtis Jones and Neco Williams playing as well. See the future of Liverpool here.
Well, it's a good opportunity for Klopp to get these guys more games than first team. And the more that happens, the better and more consistent they will become, which in the end means that, you know, there's fighting for places. Everybody in that starting lineup knows that there's 2 or 3 players behind them who could easily come in and do just as good a job. And we saw that today. You know, both of those players, the young lads you're talking about, the team never missed a heartbeat with the 2 of them playing. And that's impressive, and it's huge, and it's important for Klopp, and it's important for Liverpool in the future. So, other than the result, there were some good things that happened for Liverpool.
Yeah, not quite happening for Firmino at the moment when it comes to goals at Anfield. What do you think's going on there?
I mean, how do you explain how a guy struggles so much to score at home when he's so involved in everything Liverpool do going forward? I can't put my finger on it, to be honest. You know, I would guess the one thing that will be a problem right now is his composure when he does get a chance, because it's been so long, and I'm sure he'll be getting ribbed in the dressing room about how long it's been since he scored at Anfield. So that would be the only thing, because he's certainly getting in position. it must be that little bit of confidence and lacking that little bit of composure, because it's always in the back of your mind. I'm sure as a forward when you're not putting the ball in the net, particularly at home. So I would put it down to maybe a little lack of composure.
Would you bet against Mo Salah getting top scorer this season? He'd still need to score a few more to be in the running.
As far as the Golden Boot's concerned, are you thinking?
Yeah.
You know, I was talking about composure with Firmino. Sometimes I think Salah lacks a little bit of composure. You know, he does get a lot of chances, and his conversion rate this season hasn't been as good as it's been previously. So that might hold him back.
So lastly, I just want to ask you, because I've asked a few of the other pundits from ESPN FC and I've not had the chance to ask you. Obviously, he's injured now for the rest of the season, but what would you make if Jordan Henderson were to win the PFA Player of the Year?
Absolutely, we would not have a problem with it. I think there are obviously contenders, and you know, I'm talking about the likes of Van Dijk and Mane in particular. Kevin De Bruyne probably comes into it. And if we're going to go for the best complete footballer, then Henderson's not going to win it. But if we're talking about an influence that pushes your team to records, to titles, to European titles, then absolutely Jordan Henderson should win it.
Good to hear, Stevie. So Liverpool's home run comes to an end with a 1-1 draw with Burnley, but I don't think they'll be too upset after winning the league this season.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.